we once had a person come here. We're talking about Gerim. Listen to this story. We had a person come here. They were begging me to know if we would have a minyan, a micha of Shabbat. They needed to say Kaddish. They're coming from Mexico City. They need a beer. They drove here on Shabbat. So I want to understand. I never tell anybody to drive on Shabbat. But this is, they drove all the way here to say Kaddish on Shabbat Mincha. I made sure we had a minyan. They came to Beit Knesset. They took one look around. And he said to me, do you have converts in your shul? I can't say Kaddish in a minyan with converts. And it took... The guy, I don't know this person. So I knew this person on the throne more than me. I didn't know him. But I said something along the... So that's the case, you're welcome to leave. Like something... it's not the right place for you.
Middle.
But you drove here on Shabbat. I want to explain it very carefully. These people who are in my Beit Knesset are tzaddikim b'murim, are real tzaddikim. Keep all of the mitzvot in the Torah. And you, for some reason, think you can't say Kaddish here? Who are you that you can strut around the world with this attitude?
Where did that opinion come from?
That guy brought a lot of disgrace to his ancestors.
He's from the Syrian community, and in the Syrian community, they don't accept converts at all. That's their mission. Rabbi Yosef once said if they only would listen to him, he would abolish their minhag. But they don't listen to him. It's famous when he would come to the Syrian community in New York. You could see everything except for that. They wouldn't listen to him. They didn't accept him in this regard. He said, how can one rule that you make violate 36, some say 46 biblical provisions? You know, there are a few Chachamim, I can't say their names on camera, that you know, you've heard of, that are Syrian Chachamim, that their life has been made miserable because, it's not what they say on the surface, but because they didn't agree to sign their name on the renewal of this ban against converts a few years ago in Brooklyn. They didn't agree to put their name on it, and because of that, their life was made again. By who? You're not talking about tzaddikim here that are making a problem. You're talking about people who are eating nevilot at people who but they, for some reason, somehow they became better than everybody else. By the way, not that if they were tzaddikim would be okay also. But at the very least, then they would have at least what to show for themselves. But they don't. So what made you so special?
How could they tell that they were converts?
Okay. By the way, even in the communities that are not Syrians, they treat converts like that, whether they tell them that or not. When it comes to shidduchim, when it comes to other things, it's not a fair level playing field.
I know, but how? You said they walked in and they refused to be.
They refused to come here and say Kaddish because they in their math and their racial profiling, they decided that there was not a minyan of 10 bloodline-born Jews.
How do they know that? Just by looking?
I guess.
Do people look like converts? I mean, is there...
They carry a sign. I don't know what to tell you.
I've met Jews from every color and hue that there is. So you can't tell by looking. You can't tell by looking.
You don't have a long nose. You must
Somebody once came...
That's your giveaway.
Somebody once came to a famous Rosh Yeshiva and said, I don't like that you have Ethiopians in your yeshiva. They're not actually Jewish. And he said... Who said they're not Jewish? And the guy said, they don't even look Jewish. That was his. They don't even look Jewish. Yes. And this rabbi opened up a Mishnah. The Mishnah in Masechet Negaim, I believe. You have in halakha, it's codified. Remember the Kohanis to come check people's skin for leprosy, for tzarat. So there are halachot as to which color of tzarat makes a person have mitzvah or not. So in order to give those colors, the Gemara also has to give colors of skin. The Gemara says, what is the color of a Jewish person's skin? Mishnah says, the color of a cedar tree. The brown color. This man said, the Ethiopians at least look more Jewish than you do.
Yes, right.
That's what they told me. It's Ashkenazi Rosh Yeshiva. They look more Jewish than you do. Ever since then, I remember this is a famous Ashkenazi Rosh Yeshiva. I remember him the Torah. Meaning he was adamant. Do you want to say that someone doesn't look Jewish? Well, you know what a Jew looks like. Baruch Hashem, the Jews don't look like us. The Jews are. So what can I tell you? Even this conversation, you got me started. Even this whole conversation that all people who convert to Judaism, their souls initially were in Har Sinai. This is a very beautiful romantic idea. The idea is born from a place that says that it can't be that some good-for-nothing non-Jew that has no soul all of a sudden woke up one day and became Jewish and got a soul. So the only way we can accept that someone is actually converted to Judaism, that really they were Jewish their whole life, And now they just reaffirmed their commitment to Judaism. They were originally at Mount Sinai, because really it can't be that Chaz v'Shalom, a non-Jewish scumbag, could become Jewish. That's where this idea comes from. So even though it sounds really cute and really beautiful, but the origin of this idea is disgusting at its core. Why can't we accept that just like Kadosh Baruch Hu took a nation of Goyim, us, and decided to give us a Torah and Har Sinai, and made us Jewish people, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do that with everybody else in the world? And he invested the power in 3 Talmidei Chachamim in any place, in any time, to do the same thing to any other non-Jewish person who comes to the cross then. Why is it so difficult for us to accept that to be true? Why does there have to be an actual difference in soul DNA between Jews
You
and
have
non-Jews?
this Nefesh Yechida. Someone posted on Facebook the other day from Israel.
There's an overwhelming number of Chachamim that believe that Jews and non-Jews inherently have different souls. I once shared an article about it. It doesn't make it, at the end of the day, we don't accept that as a theology, and even if you would, what practical ramification does it have?
What do you do with
So
it?
somebody has what do you call it? Chaya, Yechida, Nefesh. So what does it make? So this one has a 3-part soul, that one has a 5-part soul. So now what difference does it make? I mean, you know now how to treat somebody differently because of the number of parts of souls they have. I mean, even to those people who spoke about such things, it was not intended to be used as some kind of racial. It's meant to speak just like you speak about a body that has limbs, you speak about a neshama that has parts. It's not from the camp that I belong to. But even according to them, there's no reason to then turn this. And precisely because it has been used, the things that some people say about those who are not Jewish, in the name of Torah, it shouldn't then upset you when people hate us. You don't have the right to then say, oh, what are those anti-Semites?
Well, this Facebook post, the guy was saying that because we have a Nefesh Yechida, we should be a light unto the nations and teach the world. And someone posted, it sounds kind of racist to be able to teach the world if you're making that claim.
Facebook posts. It's
I
interesting.
know. but
Yeah.
this is quite a Facebook post.
If all he said was because we have a soul we should teach Torah, I would have. It's not as bad as some of the other more terrible things we've heard in that regard.
Yeah, sure is.
You know, there's a chief rabbi, not of Israel. I'm not mentioning his name. Please don't say his name. He's a famous non-Israeli chief rabbi. Who people are enthralled with him. They love him. He's an eloquent speaker. I'll give it to him. He spoke once in Yerushalayim, and he gave a speech about organ donation halacha. Some to the effect of, we can't give our organs to non-Jews, but we are allowed to receive donations of organs from non-Jews. Now, on which halachic basis? This rabbi is a very famous rabbi. A posek, he's not. A dayan, he's not. A decisor of Jewish law, he doesn't have credentials for it. And there was a chacham who spoke after him. He's a very famous Ashkenazi Rosh Yeshiva from New York. Very famous. A big time of chacham. I'm not saying his name because then you would know who the other rabbi is. And he said about him, it's bad enough that this man believes such things, but to say such things, in public, and for the whole world to hear them, that how do you expect to say such a thing and not wonder if there's going to be a pogrom the next day? Because you're literally saying our blood is better than theirs. So was it, you should only accept blood transfusions from Jewish people. So, you're about to die. You think you care where your blood is coming from? And if you did, there's something fundamentally wrong with the person. Unfortunately in Israel, every year, there are thousands of people who die because people in Israel don't donate organs like they do elsewhere in the world. Because even Jews, the non-observant Jews, have all kinds of superstitions. If they give their kidney away or their liver or whatever they're donating, the heart after they die in a car accident, then their body won't come back in the next world, and all kinds of superstitions. Not Jewish beliefs, superstitious beliefs. Thousands of people die every single year in Israel because of a lack of organs available in the market in Israel. That on its own should be a reason to wake people up. There's an organization called HODS, Halachic Organ Donor Society. They once came to present in the yeshiva. Pelitz thought it was too much. He struggled with how much can you talk about dead bodies and cadavers. And the Beit HaMikdash was a problem he had, but there was a sensitivity, not a halachic issue. These people do good work. They have the approval of many chachamim. A person can have a HODS organ donation card. The details you could look it up. I'm not an expert in it. They could say that I wish for my organs to be donated after I die in this and in a stem cell death and this kind of death. Well, there are different opinions in halakha. It has to be done under the supervision of this organization. Meaning, I want it to be done. It's different than what you have on your DMV card. It's something that in Israel is actually legally binding. Here, I don't know what its status is in America, but that it needs to be done according to the guidelines of the Hod's rabbinic committee. So the person could feel that afterwards, the parts of their body are being used for a mitzvah. What are they afraid of? In the next world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave one heart, can't give two. Can remake a heart. But Moshe Feinstein, Alav Shalom, was very famous. He held that it was a mitzvah. Let's say someone needs a kidney. He said it's a mitzvah to give somebody a kidney, but it's not an obligation. Because you don't have an obligation to put yourself at risk to save somebody else. To give all your money, maybe, but to put yourself under a knife that you might something may happen to you, you don't have a chiyuv, but a mitzvah you have. Well, he wasn't afraid that maybe after 120 years, Hashem can bring back a person with only one kidney.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the resistance is the feeling that your body's being mutilated after you die. It's like autopsies, and people are reluctant to do that.
Of course. By the way, kavod hamet, the respect given for the deceased, is something that we hold very dear in our faith. Which is precisely why, as a Jewish community, we should allow for a way in which such things can be done while still maintaining kavod hamet. This was a famous war between Rav Kook and Rav Uziel. Apropos, non-Jews, this is a famous war between them. I use war a lot. It's not a real war. They had no weapons there. But it wasn't just a conflict. It wasn't a halachic disagreement that was, Rav Kook believed that, you're talking about the 20s, the 30s, they're trying to open medical schools in Israel. They need cadavers to study on.
Right.
Rav Kook believed that they should do whatever they can to get non-Jewish cadavers. Why? Because non-Jews who are not created, according to him, in the image of Hashem, don't have the requirements of Kvod Hamit. You don't have to, if they decide that they want to donate their body to science, it's their prerogative to say, I don't care how my body is dissected after I die. A Jewish person, though, is not allowed to give his body up for science, and therefore he can't say, I forego my Kvod Hamit and put me on a table to dissect. He can't do it. Rav Uziel said, absolutely he can. Whatever you believe about a non-Jew, you must believe about a Jew. Rav Uziel said, Veipach ba'po nishmat chayim, that Hashem breathed into his nostrils a spirit of life, meaning, even this is before Jews were and non-Jews were split, everybody has a neshama inside of them. And Rav Uziel wrote to Rav Kook, he wrote him similar words that this rabbi said. He said, all that you think is bad enough, but to write it on paper, to disseminate to the world is a dangerous thing. He said, if you believe that it would be a denigration of a human body to perform autopsies on it, then you can't do it to non-Jews either. And if you believe there's a way to do so respectfully, then you're able to do that with a Jewish person as well. Ultimately, I don't know if the Jewish community accepted Rav Uziel's ruling on this matter. My feeling, I don't know if that's practically, but ultimately the feeling is that. But these theologies are important to discuss, even though they're hard, and it's a hard concept. People don't want to talk about death. They definitely want to talk about what should happen to them after they die. But these are important things that people should think about. And between you Jews and non-Jews, to realize that there's a place of, even if you believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a different purpose, a different task, so what? So we all have. Everyone here has a different profession. So which one of you is better? Nobody. That's not the way that things work. HaKadosh will charge us with a task as Am Yisrael. But part of that Am Yisrael, in the Zohar, the Kuzari, there's an argument whether we are the heart of the world or the mind of the world. Argument in the Zohar and the Kuzari. That difference is less important to me than both of those organs are organs that are vital for the whole body to function. They're also organs that have no use on their own. A heart on a table, what is a heart on a table? A brain without a body, without a head. Yes, we may be the center life-giving force of the world in Jewish theology, but it's only there to assist the whole world. It's only there to give to the whole world.
That part is always forgotten.
It's always forgotten by us, but especially by the people around us. If we could only tell the world, what does the Rambam say? Chachamim didn't wait for Mashiach to come because they wanted world domination. Nobody cared to own the world. They only wished to have a corner in the world which to study Torah to improve humanity. That's what we've been trying to do the whole time. Everyone gets in our way. They think we're trying to take over the world. We're not trying to take over the world. At which
That's
point...
a false accusation to make.
That's of course. And by the way, I think some Jews do believe one day everyone's gonna be our slaves and Mashiach.
I've
Yeah,
heard
right.
that.
And you think, and you say, are you crazy?
Welcome to ISIS, Jewish.
But the Jewish version, that's
Yeah.
why it's not. We are trying our best since HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us into this world to improve the world, to make the world a better place. Everywhere that we go, everything that we do, every philosophy that Chachamim put out, every thought. And so we should at least let the world know the reason we do what we do is because we care about you the way a heart cares about a body. It cares to pump blood the way a mind cares to give to the body. And of course, so we have some self-importance. That's fine. But it doesn't come on account of you. It comes to give to you. And if you'd only let us, if you only count Jewish people's contribution to the world, you could see that even when we didn't intend to, we still do such a thing. That's okay. You're allowed to be proud of what Am Yisrael does. But don't ever mistake what Am Yisrael does as being, there's no reason for anything else in the world. What purpose is a heart if there's no body? If you get rid of all the legs and all the arms and all the heads, so who needs a brain? It's a mistake. There's a beautiful symbiotic relationship that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees with Am Yisrael and the rest of the world. And when we begin to realize that and are able to express that, perhaps the people who need to hear it the most are I used to think the non-Jews, but maybe the Jews, the Jewish community, have to hear it first.
Yeah.
And they have to be convinced of the amitut, the truth of that, in order so that they can teach it to the rest of the world. We'll continue tomorrow night from where we left.